Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that takes the lead in today's edition for Friday, 26th January 2024, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group, Bahamas Customs Authorities tighten measures to address the illegal inflow of arms. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. Comptroller of Customs in the Bahamas, Ralph Monroe, comments on the crackdown on import of illegal firearms. Desmond Saunders of ZNS News reports.
A major crackdown underway to eradicate the smuggling of illegal weapons from the nation's ports of entry.
For many years, it has been a challenge for us. And of course, today, it is even a greater challenge. And they say that's not only for the Bahamas, but across the entire region, trafficking of small and light weapons.
Over 10 illegal high-powered weapons intercepted and seized alone from the London Pending International Airport in 2023. Deeply troubling statistics for acting control of customs. Ralph Monroe, who admits that criminals are using creative tactics to smuggle illegal firearms in the country.
Criminals, their minds are always thinking. And so you can look in terms of the engines of vehicles and motorbikes. Okay, they can put them in the engines. Anything like a microwave. You can look at refrigerators. Oh, yeah. And sometimes they break it down. You can put them on the inside of cars, under the seat, in the dashboard, in the door panel, anything along that line, old used furniture. And so there's so many ways you can do it until it's almost like looking for a needle in a haystack.
With the help of the Police Force's K-9 unit and its other affiliates around the world, Bahamas Customs Department now scrambling to keep pace with these crafty criminals. And from all accounts, their efforts are paying off.
If you look now, in particular with the courier services, we've started tightening up on courier services. We do more inspection, and we keep the K-9 unit, for that matter, in the air freight area, around the FBOs, that's fixed base operators, around the aircraft. We keep those areas hot, as well as on the dock area in our Waikiki. Again, we keep those areas as hot as we can. We keep people in those areas. But, of course, criminals don't buy down easy. And they'll call you bluff if you drop your guard. But with the resources that we have, we try to spread ourselves out to cover all the bases.
With 100,000 square miles of ocean space and with a growing pleasure craft industry, the acting controller says it's virtually impossible to control the movement of gun smugglers.
How do you monitor? The truth is that you can't monitor all of them. Okay, that's the reality. You just can't. We have porous borders. The defense forces out there, they do what they can do. Clearly, we have a very small marine unit for customs. You'd find we've got a vessel in Grand Bahama. We have vessels here in Nassau that we haven't really used so much since the pandemic. But it is virtually impossible for the Customs Department or for any of the other law enforcement agency to give the kind from policing to the borders of the Bahamas that it would need. It's just too big.
Just last year, the nation's chief joined several countries in condemning U.S. gun manufacturers for fueling the high crime wave in the country through the distribution and sale of illegal weapons. The customs controller believes with beefed up patrols and a relentless pursuit, the flow of illegal guns in the country would soon be a thing of the past. Desmond Saunders, The Bahamas Tonight.
Residents of Mova and Enterprise say they are optimistic regarding the government of Trinidad and Tobago's plans to invest $100 million in crime fighting and that it will be successful with the right guidance. The program has been welcomed but at least 2 community stakeholders are calling for proper consultations. CNC3's Shane Superville has more.
As conversations over a community-based crime-fighting initiative continue, stakeholders in 2 neighborhoods have welcomed the idea but are calling on the government to engage residents for the best possible results. The program was announced during the Prime Minister's address at the PNM's public meeting last week in response to an upsurge in criminal activities. 2 days earlier, Israel McLaren, Jamal Williams, and Shaquem Dennis were gunned down while under a tent in Paradise Heights, Mova, by gunmen dressed as police officers. Residents said the murders have left their neighborhood shaken. Speaking with CNC3 at his office, businessman and lifelong Mova resident David Hartman says the solution to his neighborhood's crime problems require a consistent, ground-up approach with young people in mind. He believes the construction of an indoor multi-purpose facility can make a big difference in keeping the neighborhood's youth occupied in a safe, productive environment. Referring to a neighborhood play park in need of upgrade, Hartman says all Mova residents are willing to meet and discuss ideas with the government to create a safer community. But founder of the Ryudan Dojo and Empowerment Center, Sensei Marva John Logan, says understanding the needs of the community is key to success. John Logan, who has worked in various community-based interventions in Enterprise Chaguanas, urged the government to meet and discuss strategies to understand what was needed.
I want my government to come in and walk my community and talk to the people, talk to the gatekeepers, talk to the residents before they send anybody in here to do anything, because we will be spinning top in mud.
John Logan suggested that rather than starting new programs from scratch, simply investing more in existing initiatives can make a big difference in taking power away from criminals.
You put a small building there, or you improve one of the homework learning centers with resources. You get facilitators to come in, and you could pay them directly to teach you to do something, to teach trade. Don't ask for no 3 and 4 passes because people don't have that. And widen the gap.
John Logan, like Hartman, is optimistic that the government's plan can succeed, but says stakeholders like herself should be involved at every stage to ensure they are working towards the same goal. Shane Superville, CNC3 News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick,
in association with our friends at
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
A 22nd January 2024 joint meeting of the Federal Cabinet of St. Kitts and Nevis and the Cabinet of Nevis Island Administration is in keeping with the policy of ensuring both islands are developing in the context of being 2 administrative islands, but a single country. Glenn Bart of SKN Newsline reports.
A 22nd January 2024 joint meeting of the Federal Cabinet of St. Kitts and Nevis and the Cabinet of Nevis Island Administration is in keeping with the policy of ensuring both islands are developing in the context of being 2 administrative islands but a single country. Premier Mark Brantley welcomed the Federal Cabinet for its meeting on Nevis that was used to discuss critical matters of the state and to ensure there is full inclusivity on national matters. Prior to the closed meeting, Prime Minister Dr. Terence Chu made a statement indicating the importance of the joint cabinet meeting.
Let me say to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis that part of what we promised as a federal cabinet, as a federal government, and even the ethos from the party from whence I come is really to have a relationship with Nevis that would redound in the benefits as we see in St. Kitts, that there is no difference. That is very critical and important to us. And as I often say, Premier, that a child in Gingerland would have the same opportunity as a child in St. Peter's, St. Kitts. A worker in Gingerland should have the same opportunities, or at least equity in opportunities, as any worker in Boyd's, St. Kitts. And that is why we have taken such a progressive move, that irrespective of the political differences, I think and I know that we are one people. And I think it is always good politics to ensure that St. Kitts and Nevis are working together for the benefit of all of our people. There's no other way to do it.
While not being too specific, it is believed that the geothermal project on Nevis, health, education, and national security would have been discussed. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.
Guyana's minister within the Ministry of Public Works, Deodat Indar, stated during the debate on the 2024 national budget that his government is committed to ensuring that the working poor in society reap the benefits of ongoing developments. Further details in this HGP news item with Dacia Richards.
Deodat Indar, minister within the Ministry of Public Works during the 2024 budget debate, in responding to opposition member of Parliament Royce Ford's assertions that the 2024 budget does not cater to the poor and the vulnerable, accused the APNUFC that during its tenure in government had alienated persons by introducing what he termed hardship measures.
We call it hardship measures because that is what it is. You don't tax fertilizer, herbicide, and pesticide to grow food. They didn't do that. Is what is a hardship measure.
He also added that the APNUFC government had placed taxes on the elderly for water and electricity, and that the previous government's decision to close various sugar estates placed more than 7,000 sugar workers on the breadline.
That situation, Mr. Speaker, was cascading across the country when they put over 7,000 people out of work. That is what it did to their family. It destroyed their family.
Responding to accusations that the PPPC government lacks vision, Indar opined that it was the David Gray Gerald-led coalition government that failed the people of Guyana.
The APNU government will come here and tell us about having a roadmap. It was him who spoke it, not Indar. It was David Arthur Granger who spoke it. You can't unspoke that or unspeak that.
Meanwhile, Member of Parliament Royce Ford, in his presentation on Monday, accused the government of producing a lopsided and uninspiring budget and one that's built on shifting sand.
It is essentially sidelining the voices that could provide valuable perspectives on how to create a budget that is truly inclusive and responsive to the diverse needs of the population.
He added that there is nothing beneficial in the budget for public servants and other vulnerable groups aimed at improving their quality of life. For AGP Nightly News, I am Dacia Richards.
In the ongoing discourse surrounding Jamaica's banking sector, Opposition spokesman on technology Dr. Andre Horton has highlighted key resolutions for 2024. CVM's Kimberly Henry has that story.
Let's rewind to a financial stability report published by the Bank of Jamaica in 2022, stating the value of bank fraud dipped to roughly $700 million, the lowest in 5 years. And fast forward to 2023, when things took a drastic turn, bank frauds and scamming concentrated the media, ascending as the days go by. It's 2024, and the suspicions of fraudulent activities are already making headlines. The grave concern of customer protection still lingers. Opposition spokesman on technology, Dr. Andre Horton, is urging banks to utilize technology to protect their customers.
But I think that the bank can use technology to do more. I think that we need to figure out how we are going to close some of these gateways, how we are going to make sure that there's two-factor authentication when people are accessing accounts. There's know your customer as well. And also, we want to ensure that the information that people are holding with these banks, their monies and access to these monies are secure.
But is Jamaica technologically equipped to facilitate the growing and changing pace of this development?
Well, we have to. And given that we're moving into the fourth industrial revolution, as we know, then more must be spent on cybersecurity, more must be spent on blue and red hacking for these banks, more must be spent on securing the monies of Jamaican citizens.
The Economist says that the banks must be held accountable for those who fall victim, except in negligent cases. Moreover, Dr. Horton believes Jamaicans need to have more inclusive financial systems, petitioning the government to do more, as he blames them in part for the lack thereof in the sector.
It's a multifaceted amount of disadvantages that the customer is facing, both from the government point of view, in terms of making what they promise accessible, and also from the bank's point of view, who now are in a position to do more by expending more to protect their customers.
Despite the increase in incidents, Dr. Horton maintains Jamaica's banking sector is thriving. However, he's calling for more banking solutions.
We want Apple Pay to be able to function in Jamaica as it functions in other countries. We want PayPal to function in Jamaica as it functions in other countries. And we would like to be able to use our cards universally.
Kimberly Henry for CVM News.
Hi, I'm Eddie Frederick, wishing you a restful weekend. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean.
In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.